Your biggest fan is right next to me. I feel like you're my friend now. I'm a fan as well. Christian,
Totally.
could you please ask just a couple of things?
How come Christian's not on camera?
Christian, put yourself on camera. Please.
Well, I didn't have.
If you
I'd
can't
have to
do
put
it,
all the setup that we had before.
well, then don't fuck it up. Just say something.
I'll try to do it real quick. What I wanted is there's a couple different things. You know, I had an opportunity to interview Frank Grillo a couple times, and he was raving about you. And one of the things he told me a story about, going back to Warrior real quick, that you guys screened it and De Niro was watching because he wanted you to do a Vince Lombardi movie. And you having that, the football background, I'm so curious to how, like, growing up, and I'm sure like everybody idolized De Niro. Like, was that tough to not want to do that movie?
Did he tell you what? Man, so no, it wasn't tough because I the script that he gave me, I didn't respond to.
Okay.
Oh, that's the thing.
So I didn't, so I had to tell him I didn't like the script. But then he said, all right, well, then why don't you write one? And I said, okay. I said, I'm open to that. And I figured it out. The guy I wrote Warrior with, he and I figured it out. And, I don't know. All right, man, should I do this?
Yes.
Should I do this?
I don't know what you're going to do, but do it.
That?
Well, cut it out if it's not good.
No. So he says to me, all right, we're gonna, because I said I know how, I figured it out what the story was. I focused on 1965, which was the year that Vince Lombardi was in crisis, and it was Jim Brown's last year. So they played the Brown, and I had this whole Vince Lombardi and Jim Brown in this collision course in the last game. Oh, but he said, he goes, look, I'm gonna go, I gotta go do a movie, so let's wait till I get back, and then we'll go set the movie up and all the stuff, and you get paid to write it. And I said, all right. But he goes and does a couple of movies in a row because he works a lot. And then I just went on my life. And then when he gets back, this woman who runs his company says, Bob, Bob wants to talk to you about, can you call him? And he's back. And I said, like, I can't do it now. Like, I'm busy. I don't, like, does he think I've just been sitting home waiting for him to finish his movie? Like, I have a life. And so she said, okay. And then she calls, and then she said, he wants to talk to you. So I call him, and he went off on me. He went off on me about that I'm not basically doing what he wanted me to do. And it was a pretty brutal conversation. I remember saying to him, I said, you're getting Goodfellas on me now. This is getting a little Goodfellas on me.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
Did you guys reconcile after that or no?
Yeah, so what we actually did, because I think he had a couple of cocktails in him when it happened, because it was apparently at night in New York. But in any event, so did you guys ever see the show The Americans?
Yeah.
No, but good.
So Christian, so I directed the pilot to that show, and when I was prepping the pilot, I was staying. Whenever I'm in New York City, I stay at the Greenwich Hotel, which is his hotel, and I've been staying there since it opened, because the guy who runs all of De Niro's security is a guy named Glenn Cunningham, who's retired NYPD. He was an anti-crime guy, and he's a really good buddy of mine. So he had said to me, "You got to stay at this hotel." So I always stay there. Not because of Bob, because of Glenn.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm prepping the show, the pilot for The Americans, and I so love the hotel. There's a library there, and I used to have all my production meetings in the library, which you're really not supposed to do because it got really crowded. And then I started bringing in, because at first I was ordering room service and it was so expensive, and I'm like, let's just bring in. So I'm bringing in like deli food. Was sitting there in this really fancy hotel. Anyway, so we're there one day, and I look across, sitting on a couch. There's De Niro. He's sitting down, and he's looking at me across the room, and we're all eating sandwiches, and I'm prepping, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Fuck. A, I'm not sure he recognizes me yet. And B, he's wondering, what the fuck is all this deli food doing in my hotel in the library? Like, So I'm like, you know what? I got to just go confront this. And I got up, and I said, hey, Bob, Gavin O'Connor. He's like, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. And And I had been told before that, because he wanted to get on the phone back. He had wanted to get on the phone with me again after and I said he owes me an apology before I get on the phone. Like, I'm not. And everyone said he's not going to apologize. I'm like, then I'm not getting on the phone with him. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not getting. In any event, when I saw him, he very graciously said, "Look, about that call, and he apologized, and which was great. So the olive branch was there, but at that point, I had just moved on, and I never ended up doing. It just kind of died.